Bankers, uh, uh, Private Banker Society podcast. I'm stuttering a little bit because this is my first time actually doing this podcast. It's a new podcast that we're doing. Me and my team are putting together some really cool stuff to actually bring to you more value in a much more inclusive or seclusive way. I'm kind of confused. I really don't really know which word is the right word to say. All I gotta say is my goal is just to make sure that you all are getting all the information that you need to be the best human beings that you can be. Another note that I want to give: I'm not going to be giving as many financial business or private banking gain too much on YouTube, because I do want to hold that exclusive to our private community that we're building at the Private Bank Society, which is a free society. So if you go to privatebankersociety.com, privatebankersociety.com, you can actually sign up for free in our free community, where we're going to be talking about banking, family, finance, business, and all those other cool things. Today's topic is very I wouldn't say near and dear topic to me, but I think it's an important topic that all of us need to know. And just in case y'all don't know, Dr. Jacobs is really getting good at this podcast thing. I even got a podcast voice right now. I'm feeling real podcasty. What y'all say? Y'all say I'm feeling podcasty. If y'all watching live right now, let me know if I'm feeling real podcasty. Also, let me know if y'all like my setup with the lights. I'm feeling real melanin right now. I'm so glad that God decided to bless me with this melanin. It's the code of melanin for me. It's the melanin for me, melanin for me. I got a new mic right here, y'all. I'm really feeling myself, feeling myself, feeling myself. All right, so listen, we're gonna get right into it. Appreciate that, Melinda. See, I knew I had somebody on here that loved me. Melinda said, doing great, Doc. I knew my boy Charles was coming, looking professional. Brother James gave me the yes, sir, assalamu alaikum. I appreciate that. Walaikum salam. I'm gonna answer my own. Okay, whatever. Inshallah, you understand. Sheila said it sounds good. Come on, man. I knew y'all loved me on here. I got scared for a second that y'all weren't gonna rock with you, bro. But I'm pretty good. I'm feeling good. Everything's good. So, as I said before, y'all know I'm really big on teaching. So I'm going to refrain from teaching the concepts that are only going to be for our private banker society. The reason why I'm taking us to our own private community is simply because I like to really teach real information without trying to be flagged on nobody's platform. So we can just start building our own community where we're getting real information to teach you how to become truly financially free. I want to do that. And as you guys know, I do not use YouTube as a stream of income. I don't have paid advertisement on YouTube. I don't do pay for clicks. I don't do none of that. So I'm not really interested in any ad dollars that YouTube could ever pay me, because YouTube can never pay me what I can pay myself. I just want to let you know that behind the lens TV, you already know what it is. Salute. So I'm going to talk about the 5 skill sets that are needed to win in life, business, and relationships. Well, really 6. We moved it to 6. And yes, sir. Yep. Um, and the reason why these 6 are important. Okay. The reason why these 6 are important. What's going on, Kayla? Kayla from ATL Bodyworks say, great day, Dr. Jake. Listen, what I want y'all to do, this is going to be important. So if you are married with a significant other, you got siblings, or you got somebody that you know needs to hear what I got to say. I'm not talking about anything finance or business today. This is really really real skill sets that I believe everybody needs. Go ahead and like this video right now, share it out, because we about to get right into it. Let's get it. So the 6 skill sets needed to win in life, business, and relationships. And y'all know I really don't take notes, everything really off the top of the dome, but I do have the list here, and then we're gonna go from there. The first thing, and I want y'all to write it down, because y'all know I'm really big on that pod class, not cast. I want to be teaching y'all some good stuff that you can take home. So the very first skill set that I believe everyone needs to master out of the 6, and I think that is absolutely first, is learning how to master thorough communication. It's on that one. Learning how to master thorough communication. Learning how to master thorough communication. Yeah. Oh no, this one here. Learning how to master clear communication. And what I mean by learning how to master thorough, clear communication is, my wife kind of got on me today, y'all. Yeah, she got in Dr. Jake Butt today. We both take counseling, and we take counseling serious. And her counselor got on her butt because her counselor told her that she bites her tongue a lot. And y'all know Dr. Jake ain't scared of telling my own business, because I never want any of you all to think that I feel like my SHIT don't stink and that I'm not striving every day to become the best version of myself. I'm just willing to do it publicly and make mistakes as well as show my successes so that you can be able to learn from all of my good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. So today, I was talking to Ignacio on the phone, who's head of marketing for us, also my best friend. And then my wife came back into the house from taking our son to school. She was a little bit frustrated, so I tried to, sprucing up her excitement, for the day, because she had to come all the way back home to get something to take it back to the school. And then she was like, "Are you on the phone? Because I actually got something to talk to you about. It will really make my day better." So I'm like, dang. I'm always in trouble. Y'all, I'm always in trouble. Um, I say, what I do now? Y'all know, come on, man, fellas, y'all gonna leave me hanging? Y'all gonna leave me hanging? I literally said, I was like, yo, what I do now? You feel me? Like what, baby, what I do now? Because I thought I was doing good. You feel me? I thought that communication was better. Like, I work a lot, so I've been working a lot from home. I've been helping a lot with our children, and she was like, I got something to talk to you about. And I said, what? And she was, we had a situation or a little scenario that came up uh the other day. And the scenario was, because I'm all about telling all my business. I was getting my hair cut, you know. Dr. Jake, if you're watching right now, Dr. Jake look really sharp. I was getting my hair cut, and my mother was supposed to pick my daughter up from school to go get her hair braided. And the hair braiding lady, she ended up going to the hospital for something. So my daughter couldn't get her hair done. And so my mom was like, I'm not going to come pick Taylor up. So I scheduled my haircut to fit around Taylor. Unfortunately, where I go get my haircut, it's about 38 minutes from where I live. And so I'm not paying attention. Of course, when we at the barber shop, fellas, you already know, ladies, when we at the beauty shop, you just talk and have a good time with your groomsman or with your beautician. And so 3:30 comes by. I'm 40 minutes from my daughter's school, and she gets out of school at 3:15. So I'm feeling like the shittiest dad in the world. Let me pause here real quick. I pick my daughter up from school every day, and I drop her off to school every day. So I'm not one of those dads that just put off my dad duties to somebody else. I'm highly engaged with my children. In case some of you all don't know, I have full custody of my daughter, which was from another marriage. So I'm very big on trying to make sure I'm in my daughter's life in every aspect, because I think that that's important. Your children able to see that you're not too busy for them. I think that's key, because a lot of us get to start chasing wealth, success, and freedom, and you forget that your children don't give a damn about none of that. Your children want you to be in their life. And there was a study that was done that talked about the importance of a father's role in a child's life, and how a father and how a father and how a father um uh that gives their child affirmative or affirmations, positive affirmations that can pour into them. A father that does that produces a much more um what they say, a better value add to society, because the type of self-esteem and confidence that a child gets when they hear their father give affirmations to them is different. And here's why: because when a baby comes out of a womb, and by the way, ladies, unfortunately, I gotta tell you, women do not create babies. You nourish them, you protect them, you grow them in your belly. Men are actually the creators of babies. Why? Because it starts with semen. I just wanted to let y'all know that, because men, I just want to let you know that you are important too. You create the baby. The mother takes the baby, puts it in her egg, and she nourishes that baby. I just want to just let y'all know that. Okay. So you doctors and nurses out there, y'all can meet me at the prayer room, because I hung up my fight and stuff, and that's just what it is. Anyway, uh times up evolved. Chandler mad about that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's nothing but the truth. Uh um Michael Honeycutt said, I respect you taking your job as a father entrepreneur seriously. I am both father and entrepreneur with 6 kids. Hey man, as of late I've been getting, anyway. So let me stick to the point. So when we talked about this father, like the self-esteem of your father giving you affirmations, and it's because a father's role is so important to the child, is because the father is the only parent that actually has to build a relationship with the child, because quite naturally it is not natural for the child to have a relationship with the father. And the reason why is because when the baby is inside of you, inside of the mother, she or he hears the mother's voice every day. She or he hears the heartbeat of the mother, and is typically in sync with the mother. And the mother feeds, the mother nurses, the mother is always naturally with that child. So the child can smell or sense when their mother is around. Matter of fact, I want y'all to do a little test. If y'all got a little baby at the house, have the mom leave the house for a little bit of time, and then come back in quietly, and I'll tell you that your child will find you, because they can sense that you're around. But when it comes to the father has to build a relationship with that child that's outside of the body, which means it takes more of an effort for a father to have a relationship with the child than the mother with the child. This is just facts. So I'm very, very, very keen on us doing our affirmations. Make sure y'all are putting on, and this is kind of a side note, make sure y'all are putting the armor of God on y'all children every day. And I do it with my daughter. Um, with my daughter, we do, we put on the armor of God, girdle of truth, breastplate of righteousness, feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, shield of faith, helmet of salvation, and the sword of the spirit, and all of God's words and prayers within it. We do that every day to make sure she's spiritually covered. So I'm getting my hair cut, and y'all, I feel real bad anytime I can't pick up my daughter. So I'm irritable as hell. So I call my wife. I'm like, hey yo, can you go pick, where you at? And she's like, I'm on my way to go pick up your son. And I'm like, all right, can you go by and pick up Tayler? Because and yes, my daughter is named after me. I said, can you go by and pick up Tayler? And she was like, well, I ain't gonna be there in time. And I just was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then she was like, where's your mom? I said, I already told you. I told you already. My mom is not picking Tayler up because she's not getting her hair done. Can you please just fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out. So I'm irritated as hell. How many of y'all can admit you just be spazzing out not because of your significant other, but because you really mad that you dropped the ball? Like, that's really the truth. You really just mad that you dropped the ball. So I'm irritated. I'm thinking, like, who can go pick up my daughter? And I'm thinking of her uncles. I'm thinking of my brothers. So Ignacio, Jig, Sean, Chad. Like, can my brothers go pick her up? No, my brothers are in Addison, whatever North Dallas area that they at, so they can't come. And I didn't even think to call her mother. Not because her mom is not a solid mom to her daughter, just simply because when you're a primary caregiver of your child, you naturally just think of, your inner circle. So I'm like, dang. So my wife was like, call the school. So I called the school. I told the school that I'm on the way, and it was like, all right, cool. So I'm driving. I'm driving to uh so I get in the car. I tell my barber, hey, don't mess up my edge up, but God, I need you to make it quick. So as y'all can see, my edge up is real shifty. You know what I mean? It's real shifty right now. It's real lit. So I'm in the car. It's gonna take me 38 minutes to get to the school. And so AJ called me, which is my wife, and she's like, hey, do you still need me to go get Tayler? I'm like, yes, man. What are you talking about? Like, how close are you? She says, my thing says 36 minutes from the school. I'm like, I'm 38 minutes, I'm 39 minutes, and I was on the phone on a business call. So I'm already irritated with myself. Now I'm on the phone with this business call. And then me and my wife are having conversation of who's going to come get Tayler first. And we 2 minutes apart from each other. So I'm mad, I'm irritated, I'm angry, And I didn't realize that she was frustrated because I felt like I told her. I felt like I communicated to her, but in truth, I just told her that my mom is that Tayler can't get her hair done that day. And my mom told me that Tayler couldn't get her hair done. And so I thought I told her that my mother is not going to be able to pick her up. So that would have told my wife, okay, maybe I need to be on standby just in case, he gets caught up with his haircut or a meeting. So so AJ, she was setting me straight this morning, and she was like, yo, like you didn't say that. I'm like, did I did? No, actually I didn't. She said, we got to work on communicating thoroughly together, because or giving, and communicating thoroughly means learning how to communicate and giving all the information and not assuming that your business partner, your best friend, your brothers, your family members, your parents, your wife, your husband, not assuming that they know automatically what you're thinking. And a lot of us do that. The more that we're with a specific person, the more that we're hanging around people, the more we begin to start thinking that they can just think your thoughts. And we begin to assume that they know something just because they've been around. And when we assume, my in church, the deacon said, he said, assumicide is the number one killer of relationships. Because if you assume something, that means you don't necessarily have all the facts, and you're trying to come up with your conclusion on your own without you properly being able to determine if that's in fact what is actually being received or being said. And a lot of us actually start beef with people. We get mad at people from the concept of assuming that they knew something, or they crossed the line, or they did some foul stuff, because you grew up one way and you think one way, and she grew up one way and she thinks one way. Now y'all both are at odds with each other, assuming that y'all communicated thoroughly when both of you just didn't give all the information. And so what I learned, this is a lesson that I learned this morning. I'm really not as good as a communicator as I thought I was. Like, I would take my time and give you all the game and education. I'll make sure that you got all the facts. But when it comes to my conversation with the people that I love, I'm just keeping you the buck. I won't say that I'm not good. What I will say is I gotta work on giving the people that I love just as much needed information to be able to help me as I give you all, trying to teach you how to help yourself. So the number one skill set that's needed to win in life, business, and relationships is thorough communication, not leaving any room for assuming, not leaving any room for somebody to contemplate a thought that may be true and it may not be true, which can ultimately change the dynamics of a relationship simply because of miscommunication. And let's keep it a buck. A lot of us be angry, upset, mad, frustrated because of miscommunication. Miscommunication, because we're not thorough enough of explaining to somebody what you meant, what you felt, what you heard. And that's what I learned. And so I was in my feelings. I ain't gonna lie. I called Iggy back and I was like, bro, like, I can't never get nothing right, man. These women out here bugging, they tripping. And Iggy was like, and I was like, man, like, I've been working at home for 2 weeks. I'm engaged. I'm locked in. Like, what? I can't get nothing right. Iggy, like, yeah, And what we do as brothers, me, Ignacio, and Sean, when either one of us are complaining about anything, we never really give advice. We know that advice is not something that either one of us need. We just need somebody just to be like, dang, for real. That's all we looking for. We ain't looking for no advice. And so after 9,000 that Ignacio gave me, I went shopping, got some equipment, i.e. this new mic. And then I called my wife and I was like, my bad, bro. Like, are we on the same team? You are absolutely right. My communication skills are trash. I'm going to do better, I promise, at giving you all of the information and not assuming that you know. And my wife was like, cool, I'm going to do better at my tone and tonality because I know that you don't like, I don't like loud volume with aggression. I just can't deal with it. So so that was number one, communication. So y'all write that down. Effective, thorough communication. That's absolutely important, especially when it comes to you building anything. The second thing that you're going to need, is salesmanship and knowing how to negotiate. Salesmanship and knowing how to negotiate. Which Melinda says something. Melinda says something great. She said, "I love it. My pastor says that true communication is with the intent to agree. If there is no mutual agreement, we haven't effectively communicated." And I'll just tell you all something. I don't think that everything is a mutual agreement. Me personally, I think that you can agree to disagree sometimes just because your discord of what you believe and how you want to function. But in your relationship, I think that you should always be trying to work on coming to an agreement. Number two, a skill set that you need in life, business, and relationships is salesmanship. And a lot of people think that salesmanship is bad, and salesmanship is only bad when you're trying to convince somebody to do something that's against their will, or good darn and well it's not beneficial to them. But when you are a true salesperson, or you actually truly have feelings, or you care about the other party, a salesperson is you're trying to help them get what they really want. So a salesperson is good at persuasion for the betterment of your significant other, for the betterment of your business partner, for the betterment of your family. Right. So you got to learn really how to negotiate. And it's just like Melinda said, negotiation is about coming to a common term that you can be able to get somebody to do something that is for the best of them, for the good of them. And learning how to do that is almost still like communication, because even when it comes to your business, a lot of people struggle in business all because you don't know how to convince people, not convince them, but to show people why they need your product, good, or service. And also men, like that if you struggle at getting ladies, the large reason that struggling to getting a lady is because you got to learn how to communicate to her in such an effective way that makes her feel like you're the one that can solve her problem. And that's what salesmanship is. Like if we want to go out, like, and I want to go to a specific dinner, I'm trying to figure out, what place best suits my significant other. Like, what would be a great place that's suitable for both of us so that we both can get what we want. But 9 times out of 10, in most cases, life, business, and relationships, a lot of us are only salesmen for what we want. Oh, yeah, I'm calling it. And I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. Ladies and men are trash at this. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I'm not going to say one is more effective or efficient than the other. I'm not going to say that one has a better a better way of doing it. I think that women are hella persuasive when it comes to you getting what you want. When you want certain things, you know how to love on your man. You know how to curate your man, entice your man. You know exactly what he want. You know exactly what he need when you want him to be in the zone. You know how to give it up to make that man actually, do what you want him to do. And you also know how to take your loving away, your affection away, your touch away, so that you can ultimately get what you want. And I don't think that that's an effective way. That's not a godly way of salesmanship or negotiation. When it comes, hey Chris, what's up, brother? I'm gonna give you a call, okay? When I get in the car. So, salesmanship, when it comes to negotiation, when it comes to your family, when it comes to your significant other, the overall goal of salesmanship or negotiation is not about you selling them so that you can just get what you want. It has to be a mutual benefit. And fellas, we do a good job too. We take our affirmations away, we take our love away, we hang over their head that we do this, this, and that for them. And it causes for a toxic relationship, because at the end of the day, toxicity is toxicity. I don't care if you're an extreme feminist. I don't care if you're an extreme alpha man or man of value. To persuade someone that you say that you love only to get what you want, but you're not willing to sacrifice to give that person what they want, is not salesmanship. That shit is wicked as hell. That is wicked. That is wicked. I get the chills when I say wicked because I know it. Women weaponize their vagina and guys weaponize their pocketbook. This is just what it is. And then I know I'm petty as hell. Me and my wife have been through this. Oh, you don't want to give me none? That's fine. When you want some, I can be horny as hell. But you ain't finna get it, because I remember 3 weeks ago, for 3 weeks, you denied me because you was mad at me. You was mad at me. So you can't get in the mood because you trying to punish me because you trying to get your point across, versus going to skill set number 1. Thorough communication to get to a resolve, so that I do not have to use my body as a weapon, or my money as a weapon, or my love as a weapon, to not being able to provide for my significant other. Like women know how to cook and how to cater to their man when they want to do something, want to go somewhere. But when you mad, you don't cook or cater no more. That should just be a part of your makeup if you're saying that you love somebody. And the same thing that goes for business partnerships, and when it comes to relationships, when it comes to business. Y'all, I've been in crazy business situations, like many, over the years that I've been in business. And it's always the same thing. Fights break up, and people break up typically because of one person wants something that they're not willing to give the other person. That's just what it is. Friendships break up because one person wants to get something that they're not willing to give the other person. Then they try to persuade, negotiate, or badmouth that person, and then they take away their best ability because they can't get what they want the way that they want it. That's not how relationships work, which takes me to number 3. Ignacio, keep me on track. Which takes me to number 3. Number 3 is the third skill set that is needed to win in life, business, and relationship is conflict resolution. The art of putting out fires. The art of putting out fires. This is a skill set that people need. It's actually a skill set that a leader has, because whether you believe it or not, as a CEO, the number one thing that we struggle with, or that we focus on every single day, is in fact what? Putting out fires every day, solving other people's problems, finding resolutions for them, having, business partners or staff or people that work inside your organization or on your team that suck at budgeting. And you got to help them with their budgeting problem, because when they bad financially, their value to the company is diminished, almost immediately. And so you got to learn how to put out fires. And let me tell you something. Your life in a relationship, we all are in relationships, no matter what, whether it's life, business, or spousalship, right? Or if you're dating. Putting out a fire is important. Why? Because you don't want to burn your relationship down, all because you want to keep a fire burning. Like, bro, sis, that shit is petty. And this shows that a lot of us are just big kids with mustaches and makeup, thinking that we grown, but we still being petty and childish. And I'm telling y'all that because I'm somebody that'll let something burn. I let something burn just like y'all let something burn. I play Usher and be like, let it burn. So what I want y'all to understand is that conflict resolution is a skill set that grown folk have. And if you suck at conflict resolution, you're not fully grown yet. I don't care how much, how old you are. Conflict resolution says, okay, how can we get to a compromise? How can we get to a middle ground? Or how can we get to where we differ, agree to disagree, but we can put out this fire of hating each other? Because there's people that hate each other that really don't even know each other, but because one thing went bad, they want to keep the fire burning. Do you know how hard it is to stay mad? Do you know how hard it is to stay mad at somebody? You barely even know them. Y'all had one bad little situation, and for your entire life, every time that name come up, you just mad. You get mad all the time. So putting out fires are important, but let me tell you something. You cannot put out fires in a relationship if you can't put out the fire in your own heart. Yeah, I bet y'all like, dang, Jake, I didn't know that none of this had to do with wealth and finance and bit. Yeah, it had everything to do with it because everything is from the heart. So if you can't put out fires just for just because of you, and you claim that you're for the people, or you claim that you're for family, it's a lie. Because somebody that actually has a heart for people, it's hard for them to have a fire in their heart towards somebody for any length period of time. Your heart, you need a heart transplant because your heart is in bad shape. That's why your heart is black and hardened. Your heart is black and hardened from that fire that you always keep inside of you. Not a positive fire, but a hateful fire. A hateful fire. You got to do that. Number 4, a skill set that is needed to win in life, business, and real estate, and relationships. Number 4 is community sourcing or community building. You got to learn how to build a community and understand the importance of that. When you're building a business, building a community is important. This is why when it comes to teaching business, finance, education, real family implementation and stuff, we're only going to be talking about that in our private community, which is free at privatebankersociety.com. So if you go to privatebankersociety.com, sign up on a waiting list because we're opening for the first time on Black Friday. We're opening for the first time on Black Friday, and it is free. FREE, free man free. So because building a community is important. Why? Because like-mindedness is more important than somebody having resources for you. Being connected to people of like mind is worth more than any dollar that you can ever get invested in you, or any dollar that you can invest in somebody else. So community sourcing and building is important. Learning how to build the right community around you and your family is important. I trust all of my brothers, and I call them my brothers, not my best friends anymore, because they are absolutely my brothers. So I trust all of my brothers with my family. Why? Because I've gotten a chance to know their heart through time. So building a community is important when it comes to building wealth, when it comes to building success, when it comes to holding yourself accountable and building yourself a community of people that's going to hold you accountable. I think it's absolutely key and it's absolutely critical. And if you do not know how to build a community and you one of them, I'm eye for eye, self for self, I'm independent, I don't need nobody else, you are absolutely a fool. And scripture says, a fool in his wealth will sure depart. Because everybody needs checks and balances. Everybody needs checks and balances. Everybody needs to be able to put themselves in a position so that they can be able to themselves succeed in a much better way. But you got to have a community to do it. And if you do not have a community and you want to get around like-minded people, come to privatebankersociety.com. We're a society that talks about wealth building, but we talk about family building. We talk about the importance of focus, faith, family, and finances, and also fitness. I think those things are important when it comes to holding yourself accountable. We have a client. His name is Marlon King. He went from being a client to a friend. I actually love hearing from Marlon and talking to Marlon. Why? Because of like-mindedness. And let me tell you the importance about a community. Building a community says that when you're servicing, especially in business, when you're servicing people, you should have in your mind, like, your clients, you would want them to be your friends. If you're servicing customers and clients that you would never hang out with for real in life, That's a miserable life to live. Like, why would I create a business where I'm servicing people I despise and cannot stand? That is going to be a terrible business. That means that every time somebody calls for customer support, and every time that person calls for customer support, they would never have the best interest in heart for you. They're always going to be hateful and mean and condescending and downright unrealistic when it comes to value based in society. But if they actually care about you, y'all, my customers, okay, my customer and my students care about us. I'm a firm believer. Like, when I call them cousin, I'm a firm believer. If they call me cousin back and brother Jake and Dr. Jake, I'm a firm believer that the people that I am chosen to serve actually give a damn about me. I'm a firm believer. So when it comes to doing business, when it comes to being in relationships, when it comes to all of that, you got to start understanding community sourcing and building. And I do believe that you can find somebody that you absolutely love that has the wrong community, and it is your job to separate them from people that are not good for them. That goes back to salesmanship. That goes back to salesmanship. If I got married to my wife and I felt like her friends were a piece of shit, I would tell them and I would run their ass smooth away. But I would not run them away and then not try to help her find more friends. I would run them away and then try to encourage her and help her and support her and invest in her finding a community, or goddamn, I will build a community for her. I just because it is your duty to protect the people that your friends, your family are around. I think community building is probably one of the most important skill sets. And if you're not good at communicating with people, it's oddly because most of us are selfish as hell. We're selfish. We don't care about nobody else other than ourselves. That's why you can't community build. And my friends, my cousins, and my private bankers, let me tell you something. No matter how much wealth or success or how poor you are, a life without friendship, a life without a community, a life without a human to human, heart to heart connection is a trashy life to live. So that's a skill set that you must have, which means you got to learn how to communicate with people. Just because they're your tribe don't mean that they communicate or come from the same background, which means you have to be diverse in the way that you communicate to make sure that you do not offend multiple people in different environments. Everybody know I curse, but I don't curse so much that it's appalling to the people in my community. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Person number one, that makes sense. Because in my community, we got multiple generations. We got people from 20 all the way down to 60 plus. So I got to have a good taste of being able to not offend anybody. I don't have a lot of time, y'all. I'm closing up. Number 5, the 5th skill set, learning how to cope effectively. Learning how to cope effectively is key. Now, the definition of cope, because I had to look this up because Ignacio helped me with my show notes. The definition of cope is to deal effectively with something difficult. Some of us absolutely melt when tough times come. Some of us absolutely melt down when situations pop up that are out of our control or that was in your control, but because you do not control your community, you are now a product of your environment. So a lot of things God allows for it to happen to us to make us stronger so that we can learn how to build tough enough skin, get callous in our hands, and to get strong enough shoulders that can help us cope. Scripture says that we should consider it joy to go through trials and tribulations, because it's the trials and tribulations that perseveres our faith, not endures, but perseveres our faith. To persevere means to what? Push through. To endure means to sit and suffer. So there's a reason why scripture doesn't tell us to endure anything. It tells us to persevere. Why? Because it's the perseverance that makes you strong. It's the perseverance that gives you sound mind. It's the perseverance that lets you realize, wait a minute, this is not as bad as I thought it was. It makes and made me better. So learning how to cope is important. That's a part of that leadership skill. All of us, whether you're a leader in your company, all of you are a leader in your life and you're a leader in your household. And if you do not know how to deal with difficult situations without getting so darn emotional, your life would absolutely change. Learning how to get through things, guess what, y'all? When you learn a new skill set, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be difficult. You have to learn how to push through difficulty to appreciate ease. And ease only comes not because life gets easier, but because you're stronger to deal with tough situations. I cannot stand a weak-minded person. I can't be around somebody that's always vulnerable and always weak and always woe is freaking me. It's never your fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And you just fold under pressure. I can't stand no weak ass man. If you say that you believe in something, you shouldn't just defend it when things are great. You should stand tougher when things are wrong. Kayla said, geez, yeah, I be on punk crap a bit more than I prefer. Thanks for the chin check. How can you expect for God to give you more than enough? And I'm about to close, more than enough if you do not know how to deal and cope with difficult times effectively. He would never trust you with anything because you don't even know. You only want things to be easy. So God will make your life easy, never give you difficulty, never make you stronger, and you're never going to progress in life. You're never going to have a progressive relationship. You're always going to quit in your marriage or relationship, your friendship when shit get hard. You're always going to quit in careers, opportunities when things get tough. You're always going to quit on new skill sets when you can't figure it out, and you're never going to change a situation because you don't know how to deal with difficulty with a smile on your face, your chin up, thanking God for testing you so that you can be better. Let me tell you something. God gives you the test before the lesson. See, school taught us how not to be godly. See, school gives you the lesson and then gives you an open book test for the test. See, God tests you so you can realize how weak you are, and then he teaches you the lesson through you developing your weakness. Man, I appreciate God. Number 6, time management. Time management is not about time management. Then I got to go pick up my son. Time management is not about, okay, I got 24 hours. Let me put all my time. I used to think that time management was like that. Time management is about appreciating every second that you get to freaking breathe. That's number 6. Number 6 skill set. Time management is about appreciating every second that you breathe so much that you do not want to disappoint God in not being productive in that period. Now, that doesn't mean that you always have to work. You have to rest too. But resting is resting. Allowing for yourself to appreciate air, allowing for your skin to feel the AC, the sun on your skin. Time management is about appreciating every second. And this is what you're going to realize. When you appreciate the time that God gives you, God will lengthen your time on this earth. Yeah. So what does time management look like in your business? Not letting 1 second drop without you giving it everything you got. What does time look like in your relationships with your wife or your husband? Appreciating every second that you get with them, loving every bit, good, bad, and indifferent, and appreciating every bit that God gave you time to be with the person that you say that you love. What does time look like for your best friends and your brothers in your circle? Appreciating the godliness in them and not trying to see and compare secretly with who's better. I admire the gifts of my friends and my brothers. I admire each of their ability. I yield to their leadership in their specialty. I edify and I raise them up because of the time, because I appreciate my time with them, because some people will never get to see their best friends ever again. Not because they died, but because their ego got in the way. So time management is important, but not for you to control time. You didn't make time to control time. You cannot control what you do not create. But what you do have the ability to do, you have the ability to stretch it from your appreciation. See, time goes away from people that don't appreciate it. Relationships die from people that don't appreciate it. The love of your life walks away when you don't appreciate it. But when you appreciate time, your length and time on this earth is now timeless because you appreciate every moment that God gave you to do what you say that you love with the people that you love, the way that you love to do it. So if you found value in today's pod class of the Private Banker Society pod class, what I want you to do, I want you to like the video right now. I want you to share it with 5 people that you love and subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. Because on this channel, we're going to talk about the things that's important. We're going to talk about the things of your heart. In the Private Banker Society, our private membership group, I promise you, we'll talk about how to get you wealthy. I promise you, we'll talk about how to structure your life to make sure that you have the life of your dreams. But on this free podcast, when I'm talking on this show, I want to do with the things that deal with your heart. Because if I can help you fix your own heart, oh my God, the doors of heaven will overflow and open up for you in ways that you cannot imagine. You will live a life that you cannot imagine because you appreciate every inch of what you have now. I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Welcome to the Private Bankers Society's podcast, where we talk about the things of the heart because those are the things that matter. I'll